lots of news all about AI, obviously, in the last few years. So the EMBA digital transformation and data science predates AI because the trend, let's say, of digitalization has, of course, or is much older. So these, let's say, challenges to use IT to make business processes more efficient, to transform business models, to deal with platforms, be active on digital platforms, to accommodate the changed role of consumers to prosumers. These are all topics that have been around for 20 years at least. And the EMBA, Digital Transformation and Data Science, was a reaction to that, to help people in continuing education to learn more about successfully meeting these challenges. And the other side of the EMBA, which is data science, that has also become increasingly important over the last 20 years as we have more opportunities to measure many different things because of digitalization. And this has led to an increased, let's say, realization that we can boost efficiency gains by submitting various measurings to statistical models, really. So the question for a long time was like, well, then, okay, I need to learn how to program, I need to learn statistics. And now the new challenge is, well, or can I just use ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini or DeepL? Do I even need all these tools yet? So this makes it a very exciting time, actually, to discuss these trends also with our students in the EMBA and learning what their companies are trying out, and for us to tell them what we've learned from other companies, and also, of course, what science has to say about all that. One part is really, let's say, tools for managing the digital transformation, for understanding this part better from a managerial point of view, things like change management, project management, agile leadership. These are all topics that our students can delve in. On the other side, you need to understand the technical tools, right? So if you make a prediction, is it a good prediction? Is it a bad prediction? What are the assumptions it rests on? So we are actually having a look at some of the methods, regression, and also, of course, deep learning. And trying to teach our students how to critically evaluate and use these tools. So there are many great offerings. Of course, I think the one that sets the one from WU Vienna apart is that we always come with a business perspective in mind. So we are not training engineers, right? That is not our main objective. What we are trying to do is to help engineers and business people talk to each other and to instill in both of them a sense of, okay, what is the business case for maybe a technology or a method? And on the other hand, like, how can I bring my business case further along with a specific method or tool in terms of AI, data science, and so on. And I think this is one of the main things that sets our program apart. We also teach people how to talk to each other, right? Because if you ask people, so what, what's going wrong in your organization, very often it's like, oh, the IT people don't understand us, or like, and the business people don't understand the IT people. And this is also where we're trying to help them communicate, work together within the program in a safe space, so to speak, so they can take these experiences and implement them in their own companies later. People with a strong IT background and also for people with a strong business background. So because we believe by bringing these two groups together, they learn these communication skills very well. And we have parts of our program where the IT people learn more about, or the people with a strong IT background, less with a business background, they learn more about how to translate their IT-related knowledge into business-relevant knowledge. And for the people with a stronger business background, we want to teach them more about, like, so how technically does something work? For example, how long does it take to program something, or how long can it take to analyze a data set? So they have, when they go back and they're asked to manage maybe a data science project, they're in a better position to fulfill their management functions. The program would of course, be nothing without its esteemed lecturers, and I'm very happy to say that we have an extremely engaged and knowledgeable batch of lecturers. They're very diverse as well. So we have as an adjunct professor from Harvard who's teaching some basics of programming, some basics of AI. We have senior scientists from WU Vienna, who takes up on that and extends this part also in the analytics class. We have a great professor from Italy who teaches advanced analytics. We have another great colleague from here from Vienna who does a deep dive into deep learning and AI and chatbots. We have people with a law background, who are lawyers, who know, because they are working actually on these questions every day, what are the challenges for property rights law, also for criminal law that, as a manager, you might have to consider when thinking about how to apply AI in your business context. We always have an international immersion, a week in summer, July, August usually. So the current immersion will take place in August, and we'll go to Harvard, Boston, and New York, visit some companies, and spend 2.5 days actually at Harvard. And I think a quick visit to MIT is also planned. And we are just now in the process of fixing the speakers in Vienna then. So I already can say that we have 2 CEOs from Austrian companies who are, let's say, 95% certain, and they won't be the last ones. There's also the data science reunion, which is a chance to also meet and mix with alumni from previous cohorts. And then there will be from the Master Digital Economy, the lab closing, where there's in January, where there's an opportunity to mix actually with students from the university and with lecturers that usually don't teach in the MBA program, just to give them an opportunity to do some more networking. I think it's always the right time to do this program. The trend towards digitalization, digital transformation, now AI and agentic AI, I think it's been a consistent trend, if you want to put it in this progression, for over 20 years. I don't see it stopping. Yeah. There are always new topics like AI, like blockchain, distributed ledgers, that we integrate very fast in our programs. So our students are always very up to date with new developments. But I want to emphasize that it's not just about the new developments, but also about having a solid foundation on which that rests. And because we're associated with the university, we have the great opportunity that we have lecturers and professors who can create these solid foundations. I have been doing research on recommender systems for a long time. And at the beginning, this was mostly Amazon-style recommendations, right? Recommending something to consumers and telling them what to buy. And this has changed a lot over the last 5 to 10 years. And now it's more like advice giving, right, in all sorts of different situations. So my research interests have changed a little bit with that, in terms of what happens when you delegate advice or recommendation to, for example, an AI agent. How does that change the relationship you might have to your boss or the relationship you might have to your employee? Are there spillover effects on trust, for example? So these are some of the things I'm looking at in my research. One thing I think we should emphasize is the link to WU and also to the broader network of the alumni, not just from this specialization, but also from all the other specializations, because they meet in the business core, right? And this is something that people say, well, ex post facto, this is one of the big advantages. They see that they're not only together with like 20 people, like in other master programs, but actually like 80, 90 people. And we also see that there are some networks being created across the different specializations that would be very difficult to establish otherwise. In terms of my own specialization, or the digital transformation and data science specialization, I think we enable people to take up more positions with more responsibility in digital projects or for digital transformation. We can point to a range of examples where alumni, after they did our specializations, they've gone on to manage then a bigger project, or a new department or a new initiative, where they tell me that yes, these are the skills they learned in our specialization that they can now leverage.